Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sam Cates for the Grueling Truth Sports Network, and I'm coming at you with some NBA news that just happened. The Milwaukee Bucks have not come out of the locker room to play the Orlando Magic. The Magic have left the floor, and it's presumed at this point the game will not occur. The Bucks lead the series 3-1, but it sounds like they are boycotting. Well, according to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, they are boycotting the game in the wake of the Jacob Blake shooting that occurred in Wisconsin. Yeah, I'm not going to really be talking about that situation. I think you can find plenty of that information on the news. If you haven't already seen it, it's been pretty much everywhere. The information is readily available to everyone. So we're at a point where the Bucks are not coming out to play this game. It looks like league personnel, NBA personnel, were not aware this was going to happen beforehand. It seems like the Magic weren't aware either because they were on the court actually preparing to play the game when the Bucks didn't show up. This is a situation I think is somewhat unprecedented recently. We saw the Toronto Raptors were talking about potentially boycotting games in the future. There are even some apparently players who talked to Nick Nurse about going home, but we haven't had any definitive action from that point. The Raptors have already, of course, won their series against the Brooklyn Nets, so they don't really have anything to do until Magic and Bucks finish up until I think that's the last series actually going right now in the East because the Boston Celtics already won. The Miami Heat already won as well. So it's the final series in the East. Toronto doesn't have any games until it's over. But now it sounds like we're going to be going to a game 6 with Milwaukee holding a 3-2 lead. Again, there's been no definitive ruling at the time this video is being recorded as to whether or not the Bucks are going to be granted a loss and the Orlando Magic are going to be given a win, or not the Orlando Magic will even accept it as a win if that's the NBA's ruling. We don't even know what's going to happen should they turn that down. We saw, of course, the NFL, the Detroit Lions canceled their practice the other day, and they made a statement. Some players were outside the facility. They did that as a social statement. Now the Bucks are responding by boycotting Game 5 in their series against the Orlando Magic. And again, I'm interested to see what we do moving forward, the situation. ESPN's Tim Bontemps already released a article discussing the Celtics and Raptors potentially engaging in a joint boycott for their first game of their upcoming series. So I don't really know where we go from here with the NBA. Are they going to be able to finish the season? Are they going to be able to have every team play every game they're scheduled to play? It's going to be very interesting because we already had discussions about this ahead of time. And Kyrie Irving, who is not going to be playing the bubble, brought up the idea of not restarting the season at all, not playing at all. And that occurred again back, I want to say in July, before we got into the NBA playoffs or even resumed the season. He was discussing not playing. There was a contingent of players who were on board with that, the idea of not playing. And now, like I said, the Bucks have not come out to play a game. The Raptors and the Celtics are talking about a joint boycott of their first game in their upcoming series. It's going to be very interesting to see how the NBA adjusts to this, because these are prominent teams. The Bucks being the first seed in the Eastern Conference, the Celtics being the team I think will actually represent the Eastern Conference in the finals, and the Raptors being the reigning NBA champions. These are three prominent organizations within the Eastern Conference who are now either refusing to or discussing the opportunity of refusing to play playoff basketball games, which just seems like a crazy concept, but they feel very strongly about the situation going on in the country. This is their standing. This is what they're coming out to, and how they can make a statement regarding the situation that's been ongoing over the past couple of months at this point, while as again coming to a peak after another string of events, or unfortunate string of events. So now the league's kind of at a point where they have to discuss and sit down with the players again, which they were doing beforehand, before they even got the regular season restarted. They're going to have to discuss, what do we do moving forward? How will this be viewed? But again, this is something that's been talked about all summer long in terms of what they were going to do to be socially responsible and to not be just a distraction, but also to be engaging in the situation going on in this country. So this is not altogether shocking. The event occurring was a little bit surprising because we hadn't heard any reports beforehand that the Milwaukee Bucks were considering boycotting game, but now they have done so. All I can offer is this: I have no hard feelings for the Bucks, like no harsh feelings towards them at all. If they want to go through this as their protest, I fully support the players in the NBA. I've loved the NBA since I was a kid. I've loved the players, so I will support this. I will obviously continue watching the NBA, and we need to be receptive to what they're saying. But at the same point, I also think we have to recognize the NBA will have to make some hard decisions moving forward. Again, I don't really know. Some tough decisions ahead for the NBA. I'm just trying to weigh in here and give you a little bit of the information going on and just a small amount of my perspective. Again, I don't really have any inside information, and I don't have the complete context for what's going on, so I can't give you much more than this at this point. But it's looking like it's going to be a bumpy road for the NBA going forward in terms of getting this season finished. And we'll see what the players do moving forward, because there are going to be more, I don't want to call them protests, but more actions to bring social awareness to situations going on in the United States. So we'll see that moving forward, and we'll see how this all plays out as we prepare to finish the NBA season. And that was going to be the end of the video, but obviously this is a developing situation. We had some news since then. Adrian Wojnarowski from ESPN's reported that the Lakers are discussing boycotting Game 5 against the Portland Trailblazers. So that's an ongoing situation. And the decision for the Thunder and Rockets, they decide today they're not going to play Game 5. They are boycotting their game as well. So unfolding situation, like I said, tough decision for the NBA moving forward, because we're going to see, I think, possibly 2 days here without basketball after having basketball for basically the last, I want to say, week, 2 weeks almost, every day. So ongoing situation. I support the players, obviously, in their decisions, but we'll see how the season resumes, if it resumes at all, after we get through a couple of days here with no basketball.